everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to be ranking every American Girl doll historical character. Now, I've done this before, but my opinions change constantly, and this time I'm including the historical best friend characters, and I'm ranking Cecile and Marie Grace as their own dolls. So let's get into the video. Number 22 on my list is Mary Ellen Larkin. Mary Ellen, honestly, it's not that I really dislike her. It's more you'll see a trend in my like lower ones. I just do not vibe with the classic mold that much. I feel like it's so overused. Like the only dolls that I have with the classic mold that I actually like keep out and off of like a display shelf are Mia, who's new, Heidi, my Truly Me 43, and then my custom 61 Ophelia. Like it's just not a face mold that I'm a big fan of. And Mary Ellen also has, you know, just not much going for her that I couldn't find in another doll. Like I already have three redheaded dolls actually, because I have Mia. Like she has Mia's same coloring, just with darker eyes, which I like the lighter hazel eyes. Her story's cool, but this is more of a ranking of like the dolls, the stories, and just my personal opinion, you know, all rolled into one. So Mary Ellen's at the bottom because she's just kind of boring to me. Number 21 on my list is Emily Bennett. I definitely have a few friends that will get mad at me for this. And you know who you are. If you're watching this, you know who you are. But I don't know. Again, I'm not really a big fan of the classic mold, and the fact that Emily... I'm sorry, I can't just stop filming every time my dogs bark because they will never stop barking. Anyways, Emily isn't even really Molly's best friend, so the fact that they made her the best friend characters rather than the other ones where their names like Linda and Sarah. I'm not that familiar with Molly's, like the deeper aspects of Molly's story. But yeah, I don't know, that always kind of confused me. And just as a doll, again, like she doesn't look that unique to me. Like if I want to get a doll with like light red hair and blue eyes, then I will just get Nelly, because Nelly has freckles and Nelly is the Josefina mold, and I think Nelly is super cute. So yeah. Number 20 on this list is Courtney Moore. Now, I feel like a lot of people are going to be confused about this because last time Courtney was ranked really high on my list, but honestly, I realized that I mostly just liked her for her collection, and I don't need, well, the classic mold, meh, and then she doesn't really have much doll-wise going for her that's unique, but I do really like her collection. I definitely want to get some stuff from it. Whenever I went to the HE place in Charlotte, they were out of most of her stuff, so I didn't get anything. Definitely want the Care Bear pajamas. But yeah, she's just kind of meh. Number 19 on my list is Elizabeth Cole. I think Elizabeth is a really pretty doll, but I feel like she would be a Trump supporter. And also, she looks so much like McKenna that I'm like, or I guess McKenna looks so much like her because she came out first. Yeah, I don't know, but just blonde hair, blue-eyed dolls. I'm really picky with blonde dolls. So I'm just like, I might get her one day just because I do think she's pretty, but she's definitely not like up there for me. Number 18 on my list is Caroline Abbott. Now, I have Caroline. She's up there on my shelf, so obviously I do like her, but again, classic mold. The main reason I got her is just because I think she's pretty. Like, I think she's a unique doll in terms of like, she has a unique eye color. She has like the pretty light blonde ringlets, which I really do like the light blonde hair, like Julie, Caroline, Kira kind of, but I don't think I'm gonna get Kira. So I do think she's a really pretty doll. I like having her for display. I definitely want to do a custom with her eyes at some point in a non-classic mold doll. Like, I'm trying not to make any classic mold customs that I'm gonna like keep in my collection, you know, because I feel like every combination of features has already been made for classic mold, so I'd rather do it on like a Jess or a Josefina mold. I feel like number 17 is also gonna make some people mad at me. It is Samantha Parkington. I don't have any issues with Samantha, but I don't know, the doll is never really like drawn, like she was kind of before my time and then also after my time, because like I was mainly into American Girl, and like the gap between her being retired and Be Forever, because I think she was retired in that period. But yeah, so like I just never really got the Samantha hype, you know? And I mean, she's cute, her collection's cute, but she's not like all that to me. Number 16 on my list is Ruthie Smithens. Again, Ruthie is a classic mold doll, which automatically makes me kind of with her. And then I like the gray eyes, but you know, I don't know, I'd rather have like another face mold with the gray eyes. They've only ever made like official, like made not CYO line gray eye dolls that were classic molds, which I actually have a custom Josefina mold with gray eyes, my doll Bitter Blue, and I love her a lot. So yeah, I don't know, I wish they had continued the trend of like having, because you know how like for a while, what was it, like with Samantha and Felicity, they had their best friends have the Josefina mold. Kind of wish they'd done that with Ruthie. I feel like I would like her a lot more if she had the Josefina mold. Number 15 on my list is Molly McIntyre. Now, my feelings about Molly are kind of the same as with like Samantha and Ruthie, where like she's cool, but just never really a doll that I was like head over heels, like, oh, that's such a cool story character. You know, I know a lot of people love her, and I think she's cool, but she's not like a doll that I've ever been super interested in. Number 14 on my list is Josefina Montoya. I do like Josefina, but one of my siblings had her whenever I was little, and I kind of like had this thing in my head where me and my siblings could never have the same dolls. So I think that's kind of like averted me from getting her my whole life. And like she's one of those dolls that like, I don't know, she's been around for so long that I'm like, she's not as, you know, shiny and new or interesting, I guess. I don't know, I would like her at some point probably, but she's not a doll that I like think about as like, oh yes, I love that doll so much. I do love her face mold. I love that she was the first who had the Josefina mold, because the Josefina mold is like my favorite face mold after the Jessens, Denali, and Addie. Okay, it's my fourth favorite face mold out of like 5 that are in use right now. Moving on. Number 13 on my list is Nelly. I think, yeah, I said earlier in the video, I really like the combination of like the light red hair and blue eyes on Nelly, and the freckles and the Josefina mold. And she has like the straight across bangs, which I'm gonna be honest, I hate like the side bangs that all the dolls have now. Like I way prefer the straight across bangs that, because like I have Just Like You 4 and Truly Me 43, and they both have straight across bangs, and I love that so much more. I wish they would stop doing the stupid side bangs. Nobody in real life has side bangs. But moving on, I think Nelly is a very unique and kind of underrated doll. Like, I don't know, now I kind of want to add, after thinking about it, like whenever I was doing this ranking, I kind of want to get her, because she is like a pretty unique doll, like dark blue eyes, light red hair, bangs, freckles, Josefina mold, like, yeah, she's just a really pretty doll. And I really like her story, how she gets adopted by Samantha's like aunt and uncle. I just think that's a really cute ending, and it gives me warm fuzzy feelings. Number 12 on my list is Felicity Merriman. I do think Felicity is like a very pretty doll. Like I really love her eye color. Like the Felicity green eyes, I wish they would bring those back, because I'm not the biggest fan of like the current green eyes. I do like Blair's, but hers are slightly different than like the current ones that most dolls who have like green eyes have. I don't know, but I love Felicity's eyes. That's like the main reason I like her. I don't really know that much about her story. And I actually did have a Felicity doll at one point. I had a Pleasant Company Felicity, who I loved dearly. She was one of the ones that burned in the fire. She was a gift from my mom for Christmas, I think. So, I don't know, I might get another Felicity doll at some point, but if I was gonna get another one, I'd probably get a Mattel Felicity, just because of like, I'd feel like I was disgracing the memory of my old Felicity to get another Pleasant Company one. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of weird, but yeah. Number 11 on my list is Kit Kittredge. Now, I don't think I'll ever get a Kit doll. But if I did, I would definitely get the historical one because I hate her Be Forever Meat outfit. But I think her main points in her favor for me is that she is the only doll, the only character that has a movie that could stand up on its own legs outside of the American Girl franchise. Like, it's the only one that I would watch, even if it wasn't connected to that franchise. The rest of them, not trying to be mean here, they can't stand on their own. They would just look kind of stupid if they were on their own. But like, Kit's, well, also Kit's was the only one that was actually released in theaters. That one and then Chris's are the only ones that I think are like actually good as movies. I don't know, but yeah, I really like Kit's movie. I should watch that again. That was really good. Number 10 on my list is Nanea Mitchell. Okay, so for a while, I think I've talked about this, but I don't know if I have. I've been wanting a Nanea doll, but I specifically want to buy a secondhand Nanea doll because I want to eye swap her with brown eyes because I think she looks kind of creepy with hazel eyes, and I think she looks prettier with brown eyes anyways. So that'll probably happen at some point whenever somebody posts, you know, a reasonably priced secondhand Nanea doll, because I would feel bad doing it to one that I bought new. I don't know. But yeah, so I do really like her. I like the unique face mold, and I think she would add, you know, a good bit of diversity to anyone's collection. So yeah. Number 9 on my list is Julie Albright. I don't know, I think Julie's always been kind of iconic. So she's definitely a doll that is, you know, on my wish list somewhat. I actually had a Julie before. She was another one of the dolls that burned in the fire. But yeah, I definitely want to get another Julie at some point, but I feel like I could find one for pretty cheap just because she's been around for so long and she's such a popular doll. So I'll probably find her one day at like Once Upon a Child or off eBay for cheap or something, so we'll see. Number 8 on my list is Marie Grace Gardner. Marie Grace, I actually also had Marie Grace. She was another doll that burned in the fire, which I probably will replace at some point because she is a very unique doll, and that's why I wanted her so bad whenever I was younger, because she has, you know, the unique face mold, and she has like the unique eye color that are like kind of the tealish eyes that I think are really pretty. So yeah, I am a fan of her, and I definitely plan on getting her at some point, sometime, but you know, there are other dolls I want more, so I guess we'll see. Number 7 on my list is Melody Ellison. Melody is a very pretty doll. I don't have her yet, but I definitely plan on getting her at some point, and I do really like her story despite not really liking the more, I don't really like the 40s, 50s, 60s time period with the dolls. I don't know why. Like, I like the 70s and 80s, and I like the before the 40s, but that period I'm just kind of on. But I do really like Melody. I watched one of her, like her movie thing, and I cried. It was really good. So I definitely want her at some point. Number 6 on my list is Kirsten Larsen. Now look, if we were going based just off of collections, Kirsten would be number 1, hands down. Her outfits collections are my favorite by far of like any dolls. I don't know why, but they're so hard to find now because she's been retired for like 10 years. I think she's the only doll that's like, of like the original ones that's been retired and then has never been brought out of retirement. So get on that, American Girl, okay? I want a Kirsten, and I want her outfits, but I don't want to pay $100 for them. Especially her St. Lucia outfit. That one's adorable. And her birthday outfit. I have all of her books though, which is really cool. Yeah, I love her. Number 5 on my list is Kaya. I mean, what do I really have to say about her? She is a beautiful doll. She is, you know, their only Native American doll, and she is the only current doll with this face mold. We don't need to talk about Logan. We can just him. But yeah, and her face is just so pretty. It's calming and serene, and she's just such, you know, a beautiful and unique doll, and I'm so happy I have her and I love her so much. Number 4 on my list is Addie Walker. Addie is another doll that she was a Christmas gift from my mom in December. I adore her. I love her. I love her story. I love her face mold. I wish they made more character dolls with the Addie mold. Fingers crossed that comes in the new contemporary line. But yeah, I am very happy to have an Addie doll. I'm looking at her right now. Hello. She is very pretty and I love her so much. And yeah, I think in terms of like dolls that I would get multiple dolls of, there aren't a lot that where I'm like I need every version of this doll. So I have a Be Forever Addie and I have a Be Forever Rebecca. I want the historical versions of both of them. And Addie, I want a Pleasant Company Addie and I want a historical Addie. And then for Rebecca, I also want a historical Rebecca because I love them so much. So I want like every possible version I can get of them whenever I have more space where I can actually display them. So yeah, I have my Be Forever Addie and she's like my modernish kind of, you know, just doll that I'm like, this is my pretty collection doll. But I want a Pleasant Company Addie for display and a historical Addie for display. And I want a historical Rebecca for display. But my Be Forever Rebecca's on display because she's a really sentimental doll and I don't want her to get messed up in any way. I'd like keel over and die. Okay, well, number 3 on my list is Rebecca Rubin. Okay, I just kind of explained in the whole other thing. So she's a very sentimental doll. She is, you know, a Jewish doll, which automatically more diversity. I love that. And I've always found her collection to be really pretty. Like, yeah, I don't know. She's like the only Eastern European doll that I can think of off the top of my head. You know, I like the dolls who immigrated a lot because I think there's a lot more interesting stuff in their collections. I don't know. But yeah, my Rebecca doll has a lot of sentimental value because she's the only doll that I had before the fire that I still have. So I love her a lot and that's why I keep her on display. In her meat outfit, I do not move her. I do not touch her. She stays there and she's going to stay there forever and ever. Yeah, so. Number 2 on my list is Ivy Ling. Now, I've already talked about it, but since the last time I talked about it, I have like entered a space of like Ivy Ling brain rot where she is like the only doll I can think about and I want her so much. But she's like kind of expensive and is more than I'm usually willing to spend on just a doll. So I may have to save up a bit before I get her because she's kind of rare, but like I just can't stop thinking about her. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. I love her so much. Number 1 on my list is Cile Ray. My dogs are barking. Just gonna deal with it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's well known that Cile is like my favorite historical doll. I love the Sonali mold. I love like green hazel eyes and I love curly hair. So those are the main reasons I like her. And I like the whole like French thing. I love New Orleans. I think that's real cool. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.